Welcome back once again to howtocookgreatfood.com. If you haven't already, it would be fantastic if you could click that button and subscribe to our channel. On the menu today, and as you can see right here, we've got a lovely Italian beef stew. Some absolutely wonderful flavours going on in there. We've got a touch of red wine, there's a few olives in there, carrots, onions, tons of garlic. It's really delicious. It's made in variant ways, this stew. This is one way we're making it today. Enough chatting, let's go and do it. Okay, let's get moving on this one. I've got some all-purpose flour in there, and as you can see, I've got some black pepper, some oregano or oregano, some salt, which you can't see, and a little bit of dried rosemary. So I just want to kind of season this flour. Simply, I'm going to get our beef, which is a kind of fairly leanish kind of type of beef, a little bit of fat on there, which is good. And we're just going to coat this in our seasoned flour. And then we're going to start off by frying this in some beautiful quality olive oil. Now, as many beef stews, this Italian type of beef stew, there's hundreds of ways of making it. Some people don't do this flour process. Some people use tomatoes. Today we are going to use tomatoes. Other people will say, no, you don't. You only use stock or a touch of wine or something like that. So there's just lots of different ways. Today this is obviously the way we're going to do this one. Either way, it is beautiful. Now we've got some carrots that we're going to use today. If you've got some celery, that also is very popular in this dish. Some people again say it's essential. Onions, of course, garlic, and then again you could then add some potatoes. You could add some mushrooms. This goes on and on. Like I say, it's a kind of, it's a beef stew. So lots of variants of it. So simply let me finish this, and then we'll get over to the cooker. So I've got a decent amount of olive oil in there. I mean, I'm not being shy with the oil. Quite frankly, a lot of people kind of spray stuff these days because it's healthy. I love olive oil, I like to cook with it, so we're going to use quite a bit of it. Simply, let's get our beef into that. Now what I'm going to do is just shake it a little bit as I take it off, just to get any excess flour off. We just like a nice dusting, on there. And then we're going to cook this for about 5 minutes, stirring all the time. On a kind of medium heat, don't go crazy with the heat. Keep it at a medium. And then we can move on to the next stage. Again, some people would now put in their onions, garlic and their vegetables, and then add the beef. But this is the way we do it right here. Be back in 5 minutes. So here we are. Now this meat is absolutely nowhere cooked. You know that, don't you? So we're going to give it a nice stewing later. We're just browning it off now. Beef is a real kind of, or can be, usually, a very tough meat to cook. So kind of low and slow is always quite good with it. Depending on the cuts, of course. Right, now I've got here some carrots. Now I've got a grated carrot, nice and small. I've got onions, about equal parts there. I'm using red, you can use any colour you want. They're slightly, they're cut a bit bigger. Some people cut them really small as well. Garlic. Now I've got a ton of garlic. There's a lot of garlic there. That's entirely up to you. In fact, there's a little bit more there. I've got a little bit more dried rosemary, which I like. We'll get a little bit, touch more salt in that. We'll get some black pepper happening. And then we can start to mix this all in. Now with the lid off, I want to kind of cook this still for about another 4 to 5 minutes. You know, you don't have to stir it all the time, but keep your eye on it for sure. This is coming on beautifully, just where I like it. At this point I'm going to add some red wine, a good old glug. Now I'm not going to be adding a stock. Some people will only now put some beef stock in now and cook it that way. I am going to add some tomatoes to it, so it's going to be kind of a bit more kind of rich and red in that colour. Regarding wine, you may have heard me say this before if you're a regular to the channel. There is no such thing as cooking wine. I don't really know what that means. If you won't drink it, don't cook with it. That's the kind of rule that I have, which makes a lot of sense. Bad wine is bad wine. Now can you see that the flour that we had on our beef is now thickening with that wine? So some people kind of go this way and just add a kind of stock to it now, and it will kind of remain that colour. But I'm going to add some tomato sauce. What I've done here, which I use quite a lot, we use it a lot in our kitchen actually, it's a good quality plum tomato with some tomato puree in there, a little bit of dried oregano, just a touch, a little bit of seasoning, and a nice glug of olive oil, and then we mince that or whisk it up in our machine, and we use that for lots of different stuff. You can, if you want, just drop a lovely quality tin of plum tomatoes in. Okay, I'm loving this now, this is looking great. Okay, we're going to simmer now. We're going to get that down. I've just turned the heat right down. On goes the lid. Keep an eye on that. Stir it every now and then. I'm going to be back in 30 minutes. Let's jump in now and take a look, shall we? That is looking unbelievably beautiful to me. I love that. Wow. Now if you wanted, put a little bit of dried chilli in there, or cayenne, if that kind of tickles your fancy. Why not? That is really looking great. What I'm going to do now, just because I love it, I'm just going to pop in some nice green olives, or black if you wanted. Again, totally optional. Many people just won't ever do that. I like that in there though. I'm also going to put in now a little bit of chopped fresh parsley. Now, depending on the cut of beef that you have used, will really depend on if this is cooked or not. I'm going to let this go for about another 15 minutes. I won't bore you with it. I'll leave you now. But just keep in mind that you can cook this like a good stew from all around the world. Every country's got a great stew, haven't they? You could cook that for 2 or 3 hours, no problem. Just, you know, the longer you cook it, the tender that meat's going to get. I've used a really kind of pretty good cut of beef. So another 15 minutes for me. And I think that's done. I hope you enjoyed that. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel. Again, play around with stuff. Food is about enjoying it. So enjoy cooking it, enjoy eating it. Try and use the best quality ingredients that you can always. Makes a big difference. That's it. Lots of love to you. See you soon. Bye-bye.